product and services. Basically, we need to go to the learn, and under the learning option, training and certification. So if you go to the certifications option here for all the levels, the security is the track which is something that will focus. Now the security, we can either go with a professional or we can go to the expert certification. So the difference is, as you know, the CCNA, if you go with a prerequisite, the CCNA is a prerequisite for before you go ahead with the CCNP, which means I expect you to already have the CCNA knowledge, the current CCNA, which is 200-301, which is like a general CCNA. And most of the people at this level probably doing CCNP security or firepower or any other courses. Basically, they generally have already the basic networking background with already the knowledge of this, and maybe they are working on some security or maybe moving on with the security domain. So that's something what in general. Now we can advance yourself to CCNP or CCI level with respect to specific domain. Like in this case, our focus will be on the CCNP or CCI security. So if you go with a CCNP security, if you explore that, when we click on it, you will see the different options. Of course, you'll find different modules as well. So if you see, if you're working for network security engineer or security engineer, these are the different roles. Now, the main thing here, if you just try to see this CCNP quick summary, the summary PDF, this will give a quick overview of the CCNP program. You can see CCNP certificate program, the benefits and all this are all. Earning your certification. So if you want to get your CCNP certification, you have to pass any one of the core exams, and you can see these are the concentration exams. So the CCNP exams are categorized into two types again. One is the core exam. The other one is your concentration exams. Any CCNP, whether it is a CCNP security or anything. So every CCNP exam will have the core exam. Like in the case of security, it is a score. If you are going with enterprise, it will be enterprise core or service provider core or data center core. Like that, you have core certifications for each and every track. And additionally, there will be concentration exams. So the core exam is more like the prerequisite exam which you need to know, or the foundation exams. And additionally, there will be concentration exams. Like here, if you see, there is securing the networks with Cisco Firepower. The Firepower is one module which will be covering up in this section. Apart from that, you also have the other modules like Cisco ISE and the Cisco ESA, Cisco WSA Web Security Appliance, and then you have the VPN part, and then you have some other things like automation, other things. So we call them as concentration exams because these exams are specially focused on one core technology. Like if you want to advance yourself into the firewalls, Cisco have its own dedicated next generation firewall called IPS, next generation IPS or next generation firewall, which is a Cisco Firepower. Cisco Firepower, we call it as FTD, Firepower Threat Defense. That's a device name, what we generally refer to. Now, again, if you are managing the AAA accounting, authorization accounting with a user authentication, then this is a module. And then ESA mainly focus on email security. WSA mainly focus on web security. VPNs mainly focus on virtual private network solutions. So if you want to deep dive into individual core technology, then these are the modules what you have to cover. Of course, if you are going for CCI, then basically you have to cover up all these modules where you will be tested on all these modules in general. So coming to this one. So the ASA is also another firewall, which is from Cisco. But this ASA course is not really covered in any module. Means there's no specific exam for this. Mostly this ASA is going to be absolute model, which will be completely replaced with FTD or Firepower Threat Defense. So ASA offers Firepower Threat Defense as well. So if you see the Cisco ASA end of life, you will find there will be an end of life for Cisco ASA file. So mostly these ASA firewalls are like an end of life here, which means, as you can see, there are many firewalls which have been obsolete now. So mostly the Cisco recommends you to use the FTD firewalls, basically covering the next generation firewall features. But still, in terms of Cisco exams, like CCIE exams, you will be still currently tested on ASA and FTD, both the firewalls in general, both the firewall. But in terms of examination, you don't have any specific to that. Now, as you can see, this is the summary of the CCNP exams. So these are the exams you need to. So if you want to avail, or if you want to get CCNP certified, now normally in terms of exam, there is no prerequisite exam. You can directly write because previously CCNA was the prerequisite exam. It's no more now. You can directly write any Cisco exam directly without any prerequisites. The next thing is, once you write any one exam, let's say if I write a score exam. Now the first thing, let me show you. If you write any one exam, then you will get specialist certificate. So there is something called specific to specialist. You will be called as a score specialist. If you write a firepower exam, then basically you will be referred as a firepower specialist. Like you will get the certificate as secure network engineer, basically secure network engineer with firepower services, like that, specialist firepower. And similarly, if you write this exam, you'll get Cisco ICE specialist, identity service engineer, or email security specialist, like that. So each exam will carry the specialist certifications. And if you want to renew your certification, or if you want to get CCNP certified, then you have to write any one core exam. So which means I have to make sure that I write one core exam plus any one concentration exam. So which means any one from here to get my CCNP certified. So to get CCNP, you have to write the core exam and any one exam from the concentration, the specializations. And if you are going for CCIE security exams, then you have to write the core exam, and then you have to appear for the lab exam. Lab exam is something you have to plan. Not this recording. Basically, you will get an access. See, in terms of the resources, you'll be given access, like coming to the FTD firewall. Let me just quickly show you. You will be given access to there is a specific portal where we'll have the courses where you will be given the access. So most of you have already got the email. In case if not, just so all the courses will be available here on sikandar.teachable.com. This is where you will have the access to the FT module by module will go, like this is enterprise code, not this one. So we'll have this FTD ASA firewall and the firepower. Firepower, this is a firepower course. Now this course is basically what we'll be covering here, the enterprise core, the firepower core, and then you'll get access to this portal where you'll have all the videos uploaded normally topic wise. So mostly we'll be doing this introduction where the firepower and firewall introduction, next generation firewall, a little bit on this. So you have this portal where you have all the labs, all the videos, everything covered on this one. Okay. And additionally, you'll get access to the video. So mostly you might have already received the email. In case if you guys are not received, just let us know. Or either you can text the admin or you can let me know. I'll send you the sample email resource what you'll get. Similar to so anyone, in case if they are not received the email, either you can ping me on WhatsApp, text me on WhatsApp, or you can also text the admin as well. So there is specific called FTD links, the firepower links. You will be getting this access to this one. So where you need to just click on this link and you need to apply this code, this code, to be able to access this. And additionally, you will find the steps how to be. Anyway, you'll find this in the portal as well. And the drive from where you can download the images. So this is the specific drive link from where you can download the FirePOWER images, normally these things. So this is where you'll find the FTD or FMC, the firewall images, which we need to download. This is a specific location. You'll find all these things in the email. I've already dropped in here. Don't send here emails. Text me on WhatsApp. I'll forward to the email, or you can send it to the email as well. So this is another thing, the resources. Now about the certifications, the overview, and again, probably the FTD is another firewall from the Cisco, mainly the next generation firewall. So we'll try to quickly go through with the introduction to the firewalls here. Okay. That's what we'll try to see. So when you talk about the firewalls, you'll find different vendors. You generally find the ASA, FTD, FortiGate, Checkpoint, Palo Alto, so forth. Even you have Juniper have their own firewalls. So every vendor have their own firewalls. And especially with the market, the firewalls, we cannot specifically say Cisco is a leader, because in terms of routing and switching, or the routers and switches, Cisco leads the market. Of course, quite expensive as well. So most of the companies look for alternative, cost-effective solutions where you can go with. So the ASA is the initial firewall, which was introduced by Cisco. Before it was Cisco PIX. PIX was the original company which was acquired by Cisco. Then later on released with Cisco ASA. Now the ASA is also kind of end of life, where it will be replaced with Cisco Firepower. The FirePOWER or the FTD firewalls. FirePOWER Threat Defense, that's what another name. We call it as the defense file. But basically, it's a FirePOWER. So Cisco enters into the market by acquiring the company called SourceFire. There was a company called SourceFire, which was acquired by Cisco, which was offering next generation firewall features and next generation IPS. We'll talk about these acquisitions. Now, also you'll find different vendors. So basically, we're not going to focus on any of the other vendors, but in general, when we talk about the firewalls, you may find any of the firewalls. So if you are new to the firewall technologies, let's say, if you're doing for the first time, then basically learning any one firewall at the expert level will automatically help you to manage any other firewalls. Because once you're through with one firewall, like let's say if you already learned the ASA, ASA is different because the ASA mostly we do a little bit on CLI, GUI, these options. But when you talk about this FTD, FortiGate, these are all next generation firewalls, Checkpoint, Palo Alto, this. So they all will be managed from the graphical interface. So all the firewalls will have the common concepts. So the concepts remains the same. So basically, no difference in the concepts, not much difference. There will be some, which means once you learn any one firewall, you will implement, verify any one firewall, which means you have the core concepts ready with you, which means Now, once you know the core concepts, which means now you can automatically learn, or you can it becomes very easy for you to start with any other firewall. So whenever you want to plan any other firewall, it becomes very easy for you, because the only thing you need to understand is the graphical interface and the options and the configurations, how to do, because you already know the concepts. Okay. The policies, the default behaviors, because every firewall has the default behaviors will be different. Like in the case of FortiGate, you have to enable some services. In the case of FTD, it is different. In the case of ASA, the behaviors will be different. So once you understand the difference in the behaviors, then it becomes easy. So normally, if you are learning firewalls, then basically any two firewalls or three firewalls or something always a good handy, because when you're working for any IT solution companies, or most of the organizations may not stick to one vendor. So that's something. So especially when you are pushing your profile as a network security engineer, then it's recommended to have at least 2 to 3 firewalls. So you can learn in the future. I'm not saying right now, but any one firewall you need to have in-depth skills with with a good experience, so that it makes it automatically easy for you to move on to the next firewall. Okay, so that's how it is going to be in terms of firewall. So that's the reason we generally suggest to have multi-vendor or multi-firewall programs, which will help you to expertise. Because when you apply for any organization, they might be using a checkpoint, or they might be using a Palo Alto, they might be using FortiGate. So not compulsory to know all, but at least two. If you learn any two firewalls, it becomes easy automatically to manage the third or the fourth firewall vendor. Through some learnings, you can automatically do that. That's something what the firewall. So let's get back to the firewall concepts. Yeah, any questions up? Now, when it comes to the lab specifically, if you're practicing any of the firewall labs, any vendor firewall, this is something minimum, like i7 with 32 GB RAM. That's the recommended or the minimum configurations. Anything more than that, that's always good. And one of the issue with the laptops, most of the laptops do not support the VM integration. So generally, there will be VM issues with all the vendors, almost all the laptops, because of the compact. So typically, if it supports, so mostly it's recommended to have some servers. Means if you are going for CCIE or any advanced labs, either you can use the refurbished servers. You'll find some refurbished servers for less than $800 to $900 or something like that. You can get those servers and you can use them with 128 to 6 GB RAM, like that. So this is something kind of one-time investment, or that's something you can do. And on the top of it, you can run the EVNG or GNS3 tools to run the labs. That's something you can also plan out. These are the options. But again, there will be some limitations, especially with the laptops. The VM integration issues will be always there due to their behavior of the operating system, or the hardware, those kind of issues. But if you have this configuration, that's something recommended, minimum configuration.